Just take one, because you've been fighting me the whole press tour. Just take one.
What?
Just take one. I just want to kiss you.
What?
I want to kiss you and just say Jada. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. You're allowed to kiss my son. I can kiss my son.
No, not on the set he wasn't trying to kiss me, but after the set he'll try to kiss me or anywhere.
Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer.
So it looks like those whispers about Will Smith living a secret life just turned into a full-blown scream. The streets are buzzing after Diddy allegedly dropped some wild claims, saying he and Will hooked up multiple times across different hotels. Not once, not twice, but on several occasions. And this wasn't just some quick fling. Folks are saying it was straight-up freaky sessions happening behind the scenes. Jada? Yeah, she apparently found out but didn't walk away. Why? Because she and Will had a serious promise to each other. No matter what came their way, they would never get divorced. That promise is why their open marriage makes a whole lot more sense now. Jada got close with August Alsina in public, and no one blinked because Will had his own thing going on in private. People are saying they struck a deal. She gets hers, he gets his, and they keep the marriage intact like a brand partnership. It's not just love, it's business too. And the one who first sounded the alarm? Jaguar Wright! She came out with these claims long before Diddy ever said a word. People called her crazy back then, but now it's looking more like she was the one telling the truth all along. But hold up, it gets even messier. There's talk that Will made his own son, Jaden, feel uneasy, which is why Jaden reportedly dipped out at just 15 years old.
Including Will Smith. Let's not leave him out. Why your son hate you? Why does your son hate you?
People been asking for years, why does Jaden keep his distance? Why is he always throwing shade at his pops? Now that Diddy's under fire, even more skeletons are falling out. Rumors are swirling that he and Will were involved in shady so-called mentorships with younger guys. Bryshire Gray, Meek Mill, these names are being tossed around and folks are connecting dots like never before. Jaguar Wright had already dropped this bomb a while back, but barely anyone took it seriously at the time. She claimed that Bryshire Gray and Meek Mill were seen sprinting out of Will and Jada's house butt naked, screaming like their lives were in danger, in the dead of night. No jokes, full-on panic. And you might be wondering, where did Jaguar even get this info?
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bashir Gray. Left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick, he needed a dog.
Hey man.
And that was they kid's friend.
Yeah.
Who the fuck can believe that that shit is real by any means with all of that?
Well, she said it all came from someone deep inside the circle. Will's own former personal assistant, Bilal. He allegedly spilled everything to her. And here's where it gets really twisted. People asked how Bryshire even ended up inside that mansion in the first place. The answer? Charlie Mack. Yeah, Bryshire's manager at the time. He's the one who introduced him to both Will and Diddy, supposedly to give him some guidance in the industry. Acting, music, the whole career-building thing. But instead of mentorship, people are saying Bryshire was completely taken advantage of. And it wasn't just emotional damage. There are claims he got caught up in drugs, too. Hard substances, after that so-called mentorship went south. Will was supposed to be showing him the ropes in Hollywood while Diddy helped with his music. But according to these allegations, what really went down was something else entirely. People say they used their fame and influence to manipulate him and left him broken in more ways than one. At the time, nobody saw this for what it was because the truth about Diddy and Will hadn't really come to light yet. But now that their names are being dragged through legal drama and public scandal, it's making folks connect the dots. Rumors have been swirling for years that both Will and Diddy live double lives and that they've been involved in secret situations with young men, all under the cover of mentorship. Actor David Arquette even came forward once, saying in a Facebook post that Will was DL and that his first wife, Sherry Zampino, walked in on him in bed with another man. Allegedly, that's what ended their marriage, not the story they fed the public. So let's talk about Will's first marriage because, according to the whispers, it didn't end just because things weren't working out. Nope. Allegedly, it blew up the moment his ex-wife walked in on him servicing none other than his sugar daddy, Benny Medina. That's the word on the street, and it's been circling for a while. Now circling back to Jaguar Wright, why did people actually believe her wild claim? Because the person she says gave her the inside scoop was Bilal, Will's ex-assistant. And here's the kicker. Bilal had already been telling people that Will was living that double life. So when Jaguar said he gave her the details about Will allegedly making Jaden uncomfortable, it didn't sound far-fetched anymore.
You're allowed to kiss my son. I can kiss my son.
No, not on the set he wasn't trying to kiss me, but after the set he'll try to kiss me or anywhere.
And Bilal didn't stop there. He took it up a notch when he appeared in an interview with Tasha K. That's where he dropped the real bomb. He claimed that while working as Will's assistant, he once walked in on Will bent over while Dwayne Martin was behind him mid-action. According to Bilal, he was just heading into Dwayne's dressing room to get Will for something, but when he opened the door, boom, Dwayne was allegedly going at it, and Will was straight up letting it happen. That interview blew up instantly.
So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too, so I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this, like, this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up.
Within just 9 hours, the internet caught fire, and Jada apparently wasn't having it. Word is, she came out swinging with legal threats, telling Bilal to take it all back or face a lawsuit. She even accused him of trying to extort her. But Bilal didn't back down, not even a little. He stood 10 toes down and fired right back. He even pulled up to Tasha K's show again and clapped back at Jada, calling her out by name and accusing her of being a lying, bald-headed substance abuser. Bilal wasn't playing around. He told Jada straight up, if she didn't file that lawsuit within 2 weeks like she threatened, he was coming back to Tasha K's show for round 3. And this time, he said he'd be pulling out the receipts. Real evidence to back up everything he's been saying. He even warned her, if she kept trying to make him look like a liar, he was going to expose everything about those wild freak-off parties she and Will allegedly threw behind closed doors. According to him, Jada runs Will's life like a boss. Every move he makes, she's the one calling the shot.
Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer.
And now Bilal's saying if she doesn't fall back, he's got the dirt to blow everything up, including the stuff they've been trying to keep buried for years. And honestly, who ever heard of a so-called liar going this hard, knowing a lawsuit might be waiting on the other side? That's the part that had people shook. Most folks would be running quiet if they were lying, but not Bilal. He doubled down and dared them to come for him. And guess what? After all that bold talk, Jada went silent. No lawsuit, no follow-up, no clapback. She just disappeared from the convo. And let's not forget, this ain't the first time the whole freak-off party talk has hit the streets. Bilal brought it up, but years before that, other people had whispered the same thing. Right before Cassie hit Diddy with that lawsuit, there were already rumors swirling about a fallout between Diddy and Will. And the reason? Allegedly, Will wanted to pull J-Lo into one of those wild private parties, back when she and Diddy were still a thing. That insane story came from none other than Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, and what he described, pure madness.
Will Smith and his sister and her husband, we were all sitting on this side of the room. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Puff, Will Smith, and Jada was sitting on the other side of the room. So I know Puff so well that he stood up. When he stood up, he walked and did his arm some kind of way, like, and then he went like this, you know, like, and I went over towards him. I know to go over there towards him. So I go over towards him, and he said to me, he said, yo, I think Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer. I want you to stay close, because I'm going to snuff him.
And if you thought things couldn't get any messier, think again. After Gene Deal dropped that wild claim about Will wanting to bring J-Lo into one of those secret parties, even more people started speaking out. Former staff, old industry heads, even distant ex-associates started hinting that these parties weren't just casual hangouts. They were full-blown underground events, invitation only, and strictly off the record. Word is, folks had to sign NDAs at the door before they could even step foot inside. We're talking phones locked up, security at every entrance, and top-tier celebrities showing up like it was some kind of secret society. According to whispers, what went down inside those walls wasn't just dancing and champagne, it was next level. People switching partners, mystery guests showing up half-dressed, and high-profile couples acting real loose. And what's even crazier, some insiders are saying there were cameras hidden around these parties, not just for memories, but for leverage. Yeah, the rumor is certain big names kept footage just in case someone needed to be reminded to stay quiet later on. Now that's scary, and guess who's being tied to all this again? Will, Diddy, Jada, and even a few other A-listers whose names haven't been dropped yet. The web just keeps getting wider. Some folks are even speculating that this whole situation with Cassie, Diddy, and these lawsuits might just be scratching the surface. If more people start speaking up, we might be looking at one of the biggest celebrity exposés in Hollywood history. Now here's where it gets even dirtier, because folks are saying the only reason we're hearing all this now is because people in Hollywood are starting to turn on each other. For years, all these wild stories stayed buried, hidden under money, fame, and silence. But now, it's like everybody's loyalty is cracking. People are scared, people are bitter, and people are ready to talk. Insiders are saying Diddy's arrest was the first domino to fall. Once that happened, all kinds of old beefs, private secrets, and nasty receipts started creeping out. People who used to be tight-lipped are suddenly reaching out to blogs, spilling voice memos, text threads, and even videos. Some are looking for revenge, some just want to clear their name. But either way, the floodgates are opening. And Will and Jada, they're caught right in the middle of this mess. Folks are saying their names are on more than one guest list from these so-called parties. And if those lists leak, whoo, Hollywood might never be the same again. There's even talk that some of these freak-off events weren't just attended by actors and musicians, but also by powerful execs, agents, and media figures. That's why so many people stayed quiet for so long, because if you speak up, you're not just going against celebs, you're going against the machine. But now that people like Bilal, Jaguar Wright, and Gene Deal already broke the silence, others are feeling bold enough to follow. And every new name mentioned just adds more smoke to the fire. A lot of folks believe the only reason Will and Jada felt bold enough to even try pulling off a freak-off with Diddy and J-Lo was because they'd already done similar things with Diddy before. This wasn't some random idea. It was business as usual behind the scenes. But what made it different this time? J-Lo's status. She's not just some anonymous name. She's one of the biggest stars in the game. So when Will supposedly tried to bring her into the mix, it raised more eyebrows than usual. And let's be real, Diddy might entertain all kinds of women publicly, but word is that's all for show. Behind closed doors, the energy is very different, and insiders have said it for years. Diddy rolls with who he really wants, not who the cameras catch him with. But here's where things take a darker turn. Long before Diddy started getting exposed in the headlines for crossing serious lines, there were already reports connecting him to disturbing behavior. Way back in 2013, there was an actual federal investigation involving him. It didn't blow up back then because he had the money, the reach, and the lawyers to bury it deep. According to court records from that same year, during a debriefing session with U.S. investigators, former music manager turned street boss Jimmy Roseman, aka Henchman, was grilled about certain entertainers. And guess what? One of the questions reportedly focused on Diddy and whether he was having inappropriate relationships with underage boys while touring. Yet it's been out there, just hidden. Now here's the part that really makes people stop and think. How did all of this stay hidden for so long? These are huge names with serious accusations tied to them. But when you've got power, money, and connections like Will, Jada, and Diddy, you can make entire stories disappear before they even hit the blogs. People in the industry have whispered for years about these so-called mentorships being used as a front. They weren't about career growth, they were about access. Once you got into certain circles, you were either in or you got used up and tossed out. Some folks played along to stay relevant, while others just stayed quiet out of fear. But now that lawsuits are flying, folks are finally speaking up, and every new claim is pulling back the curtain on the darker side of fame. What's wild is that Diddy wasn't even being slick about it. There were stories floating around for years, party invites with weird rules, young artists disappearing from the scene, and shady NDAs being handed out like candy. And Will, his name kept popping up next to Diddy's way too often for it to be a coincidence. And then there's Jada, who always moved like she was the one controlling the chessboard. Some insiders say she knew everything, and not only did she allow it, she helped keep it all moving smoothly. From entanglements to secret mansion meetups, it's clear there's way more behind the Smiths' image than what they show in interviews. They pass these young boys around like playthings, using them for their so-called freak-offs, then dropping them the second they've had their fill. And when they're done, they move on to the next kid desperate to make it in the industry. It's a dark cycle, but it doesn't stop there. After the damage is done, they silence these boys with threats, NDAs, and fear. Makes you really sit back and wonder, what are these kids being forced to endure just to survive in that world? And you already know the internet's not staying quiet. People are calling out all kinds of stuff. One person posted, "There are videos of Will being too much with Jaden. He always forces him to kiss him. It's weird." I honestly believe something happened to that boy. Another chimed in with, Will Smith cheated on Dwayne Martin with Diddy while Diddy was messing around behind Clive Davis' back with Will. The mess is deep, y'all. And every time someone speaks out, it just pulls back another layer of this twisted Hollywood web. But now I gotta know, what do you think? Is Diddy really snitching on Will's alleged secret life? Do you think there's any truth to these claims about Jaden? Or is this all just conspiracy level noise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. And hey, if you made it all the way to the end of this wild ride, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss when the next scandal drops. Click right here for another messy deep dive you won't believe, and I'll see you in the next one.